Sexy movie, not that kind, a remake. We'll explain.
A Real Housewives of Potomac is moving to the A, and we'll tell you who. And Cat Williams' name is in these streets, and we'll tell you why.
And I'm ready to have some fun.
Well, let's have it.
Welcome to Side Dish. There we go. We got the theme song going.
Almost wore that shirt today, and I was like, that would be weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you get your school pictures back and you happen to be wearing the same shirt that you took the picture in.
Absolutely never changed.
Yeah. So I had to retire the shirt. But big ups to you guys. Here at Side Dish, we're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We are the whole meal.
And joining us again, producer, radio, TV personality, and her love of music has her dubbed the concert connoisseur.
What?
Welcome, Janee Chanell. How you doing? Welcome. Concert connoisseur. That's nice.
Yes, I love shows. I'm at every show.
All right,
Doesn't matter the genre.
everybody that's coming through in 2025, who you most excited to see?
Chris Brown and Janae Aiko.
They coming together?
Yes, they're coming in October. Yes, they're coming in October, but he's going on tour in July 1st with Bryson Tiller and Summer Walker.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
These are some good tickets. Like,
about it,
like
yeah.
I feel like I'm out of the loop. You put me on to some tea. She truly is as
Yes,
advertised, the
I
concert
love
connoisseur.
music.
Well, listen, it's time to dive into some Feed Me. Now, listen, animals have always been wild, but now it seems like these animals want to be domesticated. Take a look at what came at knocking at someone's front door.
What?
Ah,
What? Hold up.
yes.
Yo, that's an alligator. That's two.
Yeah, you got backup. He's like,
Oh my God. Yeah, they deep.
Are they fighting?
see, this is what loan sharks look like in Florida.
Yeah.
The gators.
Oh no, he's totally trespassing.
He's trying to get in.
Oh, we gonna try to open the door. They so
Oh my God. Oh no.
Wow. That's crazy.
Do you think
Yeah.
alligators would make human belts
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
could?
I think they just eat us up, man. The alligators.
They make-
I saw a video where it's like a bunch of alligators in an enclosure, and you would think if you're like held in the spot and there's like 20 of your friends, they're all exactly like you, and you're getting fed regularly, that everything would be kind of cool. Like this dude like tosses out a piece of chicken, and this one alligator like goes to grab it, but instead he latches on to the arm of his alligator buddy, and then he goes into a death roll and just yanks the dude's arm smooth off. But they're freaking dinosaurs, and so they don't even care. And they act like nothing ever happened.
No one's ready to have that conversation. Are you on board with this? Do you feel like, like alligators and also the rhinoceros?
The rhinoceros.
All I got to say is alligators make good purses.
Oh, all right.
And that's why they be coming for people's arms.
Yeah, was
you're
that your
using
house
their
that they were
body to
knocking on
carry
the door?
things.
They make some nice
Heard you
purses.
got some bags in there.
We coming for our nephew.
Yeah.
We coming for our nephew's body.
Better come out all in one piece.
Okay, got the belt, shoes, the alligator shoes.
Yo,
I've seen them.
and another thing that like alligators have the right to be mad about, we only eat the tail.
That's right.
What about the rest of the body?
What are we doing with the rest of the body?
I've never ate alligator.
What?
It
No.
tastes like chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all from the South.
South Bronx, but I also have a spawn point in Dallas as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things taste like chicken.
It's weird. Like, why is chicken the baseline meat that things taste like?
Okay, let me hit you with this. This is a slight nerdy side note here, but I read this thing where it's like, chicken tastes like chicken, and then they say like snake even tastes a little like chicken, and the alligator in particular tastes like chicken. But then they also say that chickens are like devolved from dinosaurs, and alligators, like they have a common ancestor. And so what if, hear me out, what if dinosaurs just taste like chicken? Like chicken is the taste of dinosaurs, what I'm getting at. Chickens taste like
I don't know if I'd be impressed or disappointed. Because I am interested in like the forbidden meats. Pause. But to have dinosaur and and you expect some new experience
Yeah.
flavor-wise,
Yeah.
and it tastes like KFC,
Yeah,
I would be disappointed.
I would be too.
What's the
That's
wildest
nasty.
meat you've had?
Okay.
Salisbury steak. I think that is so good.
Oh,
I don't like it. I never.
Is it because it's too much like a hamburger? It's like
Yeah, it's
processed
just like
part?
yes. I don't like. It's just be too much fat, and I'm cool. It's
You want to know what
nasty.
I think is messed up? I think the McRib is messed up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they process the pork and then they make it look like the sections of, they make it look like a rib, like it has bones. But no, that's
Yeah.
just processed, that's all processed pork.
Yeah, like I took many years off from eating the McRib, and one day during a radio promotion, they sent me a McRib to my house, and I ate it, and my body was instantly like, "Yo, why are you doing this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't eat red meat.
Oh,
Oh, word? How long you been on the no red meat thing?
For like 2 years.
2 years?
Congratulations,
Yeah.
man.
Fair enough.
Like
yeah,
2 years.
Good.
Alligators won't be coming looking for you, neither will the cows.
Okay, moving on. Got some news for you. There's been rumors going around that a remake of the Bodyguard movie is in the works. What a classic. And it's been reported that Kim Kardashian is going to be the lead. That's right. The same role that Whitney Houston played. Allegedly, there have been multiple meetings, and the script has been written with Kim in mind. Everyone immediately assumed Taylor Swift would get the lead because the Bodyguard remake is being directed by Sam Wrench, who directed the 2023 film about Taylor's Eras tour. But Warner Brothers, the studio remaking the original, is very keen on Kim.
She don't have not one song
No.
that hits on the level of And I.
Yeah. No.
Why are we touching our classics? Why aren't we, creating new ones?
Wait, wasn't there already a Bodyguard remake a couple years ago?
I feel like it was something similar.
I feel like there's a Bodyguard remake, and some guy from Game of Thrones was in it. Am I right about this?
I remember hearing it talked about, but I don't think it fully came to fruition because
Maybe
people
it
have been
did.
threatening with the idea. I would love to see the roles reversed in a Bodyguard remake.
Yo, okay, all right. I'm listening.
Yo, just imagine Lizzo carrying, like,
Wait.
Justin Bieber or somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Okay, now you got me.
Because
Now this is a movie.
we in girl power era right
Yeah.
now. Like, women are out here being great and doing everything,
Absolutely.
and they can.
Somebody gets a hold of Bieber, and Lizzo, like, push kicks them out of the way, throws him over her shoulder, and, like...
And this is me understanding and saying Lizzo, knowing damn well she's in great shape right now.
Yes.
But I feel like
Looks
she would have the
amazing.
personality to
Right.
be interesting.
Yeah.
I also would throw Megan Thee Stallion in that hat as well.
Okay, all right.
Because she's stout and tall.
It's interesting because I'm thinking about this, like the Bodyguard remake is like, they're not, you know what Kim can't do? She can't sing, and she's not doing the choreography.
Yeah, like get someone who can
And
sing.
she can't dance. Prince done kicked her off stage for that one time. and she can barely act. And she also can't evidently pass the bar in the state of California. Sorry.
It took you like 17
Didn't mean to go in there on that dig. But like, what if she's just like kind of a version of herself, like a social media star, and whoever the bodyguard is bodyguarding her for her life's choices.
And she could method act, because you remember that one time they got robbed in Paris, I think it was. Where
Yeah.
these people broke
when
into
they
a
took
crib.
all her
so-
jewelry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
so bad.
But if
Yeah.
they did like stick to the original script, the amount of jobs that would create, because you got to like get somebody that could sing for her, you need
Yeah.
somebody that could do the choreography where they do that close-up shot of her feet to make it seem like
Yeah,
she's
'cause
really
you know
doing the
Kim
move.
Yeah.
Kim real stiff.
I mean, classic movie. Such a great film.
I only saw
The
it once.
remakes, I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah.
Fresh out of ideas they are.
Alrighty, Real Housewives of Potomac star Mia Thornton made a big announcement this week. She shared this photo with the caption, and I'll summarize. With every new season comes a new beginning, and I have some news to share. My family and I have made the decision to relocate to Atlanta, and with that, I will not be returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac next season. This season chapter is already full of exciting opportunities, and I can't wait to take you all along for the ride. Big things are coming. Whoa.
Interesting.
Like her feet, right?
Yeah, she coming back for my boy
taking big
Headkrack, you know?
Yeah.
No, they're best friends, guys. They're only just
But didn't he provide that baby?
I don't know.
That's his baby, right? And I'm coming from a place where I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, my testosterone rides too high for me to know
Oh, no.
anything about, like, housewife plotlines.
No, I don't know. They don't have no kids. They just friends.
I thought they had a baby.
No, they ain't got
Somebody
no-
help me.
They friends.
Arlene, they didn't have a baby?
We got an allegedly.
Yeah.
We got an allegedly that maybe one of her kids might not have been her husband's kids. That was a storyline on Potomac.
Okay.
But here, my big question is like when a Real Housewife like declares herself available for the draft, does the other city housewives just draft her up? Is she about to get a peach?
Is it a lateral trade?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
who loses their peach because, we're doing this trade now?
Yeah.
You think she could be joining the ladies on the Atlanta show?
If not, why not?
Yeah.
I know she's a name that people know.
Yeah.
And I would love to see my man Incog on the show, because I rock with Incog.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Incog
my-
is a
that's
solid
my boy.
dude.
That's my
So
brother, yeah.
I want to see him win. I really want to see him win.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely moving here to be with boyfriend Incognito. Maybe they will do their own show. Would you watch?
As much as I currently watch. Yeah. And that's no shade. Like, I be aware, but
You know what? I would watch. I would watch every single day, about 30-second clips, once or twice a day, and then I would be like, "That's so crazy."
No, I think it'd be a good show because Incognito, he's very entertaining. Then Mia, she has all her endeavors and what she has going on with her kids and everything. So
And it's a quantum leap, too, because a lot of times people be on them surface level shows, like a Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
And I feel like the equity of the Housewife brand is higher than that.
Yeah.
Less fisticuffs, more table flipping.
More table flipping.
Yeah, they asked me auditioning in real time.
Yeah.
More table flipping.
Moving on up, kind of, a
Yeah,
little
you know what I'm
bit.
saying?
Yeah.
So I hope that happened for both of them.
yeah.
Yeah, that would
In the
be nice.
meantime, in between time. So
That'd be nice.
let's talk about this. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences announced on Monday that the Oscar voters will now be required to watch all nominated films in each category to be eligible to vote in the final round of voting. It took y'all long enough. Instead of just being encouraged to watch the nominees and vote in categories that they felt qualified in. And that's fair.
Yo, all the uproar I saw online today was like, it wasn't already like this, which is like kind of funny, but also at the same time, it's like I'm in SAG, the Screen Actors Guild Union, and they're the SAG Awards, and I definitely get to vote on SAG Awards, and there's been times where it's like, ooh, I don't know all these, but I kind of know this one, or I kind of know somebody in that one, so it's getting my vote no matter what.
Yeah. I think we do gotta hold the people that vote in a higher regard,
Yes.
because people do like, oh, I know him, I'm gonna vote for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that's how you get a lot of movies where people be like, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should get the people's vote. I think the people's vote should win.
I agree.
Yeah,
'Cause
we matter.
Under that guise, there would be a lot more Marvel Oscars given.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Is the Critics' Choice Awards the closest to that? But then there was one like I feel like there was like some VMAs that we could vote on for a couple years.
The
in a
VMAs
row.
was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the public votes on the Razzies, right?
I'm not sure if the
so.
public votes on the Razzies or not. It's interesting because I think you're absolutely right. I think there's absolutely a world for the public to vote, but it's almost like we do that at the box office anyhow. Like, what got the most ticket sales?
Yeah.
And like sometimes an artsy movie, it can be real artsy. It's not going to sell a whole lot of tickets.
That's true.
Yeah, 'cause like the two best movies I've seen this year are movies that didn't really have a huge budget and a big push. Like Jonathan Major's magazine Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. And Sinners the
I
other
was just
day.
about to say,
Yeah.
Sinners is so good. 10-10.
Yeah, if they don't get nominated for something, anything, we riot.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. I'm just surprised that you guys are so advanced, but so behind at the same time.
The other thing that's interesting about like the whole Oscars thing is like Miramax or whoever a big studio is, Miramax, I'm aging myself here, but like a big studio will come out and they'll come up with a campaign, right? Because they got their little indie darling that they know like people could like get into, but maybe it doesn't have a widespread like Marvel movie release. And so they like pick their targets of people who they're trying to market to and whatnot. And that's how like some of those films like wind up getting Oscars and we've never heard of them, you know?
Yeah, like what's like the most decorated film that won all the awards that y'all never seen before?
That one Asian movie. I don't know. I forgot what it's
Everything
called.
Everywhere All at Once?
I swear, that movie.
Was it the one with the Asian butt
Yes,
kicking?
yes.
That movie's great.
When I tell you that movie swept, like I was like, that type of stuff make me go watch it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I want
For
to see what the hype's
sure.
about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was
Well,
in
see,
tune.
something like that. I mean, I watched it before it got nominated, but there'll be certain years where, like, all right, the winner is, and I swear, like, I don't even want to say the movie that I know because they'll think it's weird, but there was a movie about a period of time during the war that won all the awards, right? And it was like, yeah,
That's Oscars bait.
yeah, Oscars
Yeah.
bait. Or anybody who's in a movie that has like some sort of mental deficiency,
Yeah.
they're always gonna like get all the nominations. Like, yo, man, you did a great job playing a Riri. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah. Never go full Riri. Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna.
Or the
Battleship.
movie Radio.
Boom.
You remember that movie Radio?
With
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding
Yep.
Jr.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. He did
Fresh
that
fry,
before or
fresh fry.
after Jerry Maguire.
I think that was after. But it had to be filmed pretty close, right?
Yeah. That was after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to do a double up on that Oscar thing. And it was like, nah, man.
First, show me the money, then I communicate via a radio. Oh, man.
It was so funny.
I'm excited about the Oscars this upcoming year, though, because it's like the movie The Substance came out.
Oh.
And it's like weird. It's really weird. And then we got Magazine Dreams, which I feel like is going to get some kind of push. I mean, I'm fingers crossed.
I wanted to get the push. They didn't even include it on Box Office Mojo the weekend it came out. And it was like, okay, I see what y'all trying to do here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knock
All
it
right.
off.
Moving on to news from my neck of the woods. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic is married again, you guys. Whoa. Are we all happy for the Tiger King? He tied the knot with fellow inmate, 33-year-old Jorge Marquez. Joe is 62, and he's serving a 21-year sentence, and he announced his engagement about 6 months ago by posting a photo of him and Joe, saying, Joe is so amazing and is from Mexico. Now the quest of getting married in prison and getting him asylum, or we'll be leaving America when we both get out. Either way, I wish I would have met him long ago. The two are married now.
Okay.
So do you think this is going to last? And do you think Joe will see the day that him and Joe can leave? Is it like, is this a tiger fling?
Well,
Is this,
I'm happy that he found love and just gave up on trying to put the woman in jail.
Carol Baskin?
Yeah, like just, you know, like that woman, they ain't gonna ever catch that woman, even though I believe that you deserve to be.
You think she killed the husband?
Absolutely.
Really?
Heck yeah.
I don't know. I
believe.
Yeah, a lot is possible. Can we get that photo of Joe and Joe back up?
Oh, no.
He's got a type,
Yeah.
Joe Exotic. But don't they look? Wait, hold on just a second. What's going on here? Because they're in jail. They're not on a golf course. Is this a Photoshop that Joe Exotic had done?
Like a little Facetune,
Definitely.
like face swap app.
Yeah, this has got to be some face swap action.
He definitely using that one filter on TikTok.
Yeah, that was probably originally a picture of Tiger and Ellen. Nordy Goodgen.
Yeah.
Norton antivirus.
Oh,
whatever her
Tiger
name
and
is.
Ellen.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That is funny.
But, you know, the dope thing about this, now you got additional backup in prison.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't just in there by yourself.
You have an alliance.
You gonna shank me, you gotta shank us both.
Yeah.
What's happening?
You've aligned yourself with a team of tigers in prison. Good
That
for
is
him.
funny.
Listen, man, we got to bounce it out the break real quick, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We love you. Mwah. But after the break, Cat Williams is on these streets, and 2 Chainz's son is doing some grown man talk. We got all that in 2 minutes. welcome back.
Hey.
Now, Cat Williams has been in the game for decades and has finally received his flowers from his hometown of Avondale in Cincinnati, Ohio. He received the key to the city and his own street. It's called Cat Williams Way. Now, stars like Monique, Tommy Davidson, and Mark Curry were there to celebrate the occasion. Check it out.
What's up, folks? How you doing? A1, what's up? Mark Curry saying, you know what? Give it up for Cat Williams.
They got a pack out
Number
for
one.
that.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
all
We
across the
celebrate.
board. I've been working with this girl for 10 years. We've been letting me work with him for 10 years. Nobody did that. I love this
Can't
dude.
even see him.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's Cat in the middle right there, but
We're working on it.
it's just everybody else's regular height.
Cat Williams Way.
There you go.
Oh, there he is.
We found him.
Y'all couldn't get this man on like a stage or a
Yeah,
box?
little step stool.
Yo,
Yeah.
where's his security?
Yo, it is ironic that they would have him reading way, because he said he used to read like 1,000 books
That's right.
a year.
Yeah.
That is
Reading
perfect.
Way.
That's
I thought it was
pretty
gonna say Cat Williams or something.
Well, they sometimes
Cat Williams
it'd be
Way.
the main street,
Yeah.
and then they'll have the name under it, just
Oh,
in case
okay.
you do something questionable, they can just remove it.
Yeah, it's two names. I didn't see. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, they do that with a lot of like famous people. I know like Jam Master Jay's street is another street, but it's also like JMJ Way or something like that.
Because
like,
there was a name for that street.
Yo, how do you feel like, if you're a person of notable like name and then all of a sudden you get replaced, like, yo, man, like
Oh, no.
nobody knows Colton Road.
Right.
Sorry, Headkrack. This is now Cat Williams Way. Like, damn.
Like, man, so what do you think happens on Cat Williams Way? Because usually we don't really fare
A
well.
whole lot of cussing, carrying on, wild. I couldn't even imagine. See,
Because that's your neck of the woods.
yeah, no, I'm from Cleveland. We don't mess with. I'm from Cleveland.
So
Don't mess with Cincinnati?
No, we don't mess. It's only three matter: Cleveland, Akron, and Columbus.
why they do Cincinnati like that?
Yeah.
We don't like because they the Bengals, man.
Oh, it's a sports thing.
Yeah, it's a sports thing.
Which city do the drug dealers test the drugs at? Is that Cleveland?
That's what Cameron said, but y'all ain't hear that from me.
Okay.
You know, they get it in Ohio, no?
See, you one of us. Welcome to the jungle. Congratulations, Cat Williams, and may your star continue to ascend and shine. Like, who do you feel like should be next in line to get a street, like somebody notable?
It's so interesting. Didn't we just have Will Smith Way a couple months ago? Now we got Cat Williams Way.
Martin got one? I don't think Marty Mara got none. Give Marty Mara something.
Marty, but where will we put it? Because I think he's originally from Queens,
He's from Queens,
right?
yeah.
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 My
Like,
boy deserved it.
he put in the work. They actually gave him a street in Detroit, I think.
Yeah, because it was based off that.
Because of Martin,
yeah.
the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he needs it in his hometown, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to y'all, man. Keep shining.
All right, 2 Chainz's son Halo might only be 9 years old, but in true Atlanta fashion, here's what he wanted to do to celebrate the 30th episode of their podcast, Me and Halo. Take a look.
Crazy. This is our 29th episode. On the 30th episode, you said you wanted to go.
To Candyland at night.
You still are saying that. At what?
At night.
You can't do that, bro. No, you can't. No, you can't, bro. I'm not even gonna let you. What if you doing that gets me in trouble? You still want to do it?
Womp womp.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, baby, been there before. He been there before. I'm telling you, he been in the car outside. He saw them walking in.
Wait, hold on. Candyland, because I was literally thinking about a place with like gobstoppers and bubble gum.
I feel like
No,
Candytopia.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe.
Gummy
No.
worms.
Candyland is 2 Chainz strip club.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yes, I have.
All right, now, like if you was to compare it to, the other like leading name in the city, Magic City,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, Cheetahs, where does it fit?
So the difference between the two is that Candyland is after hour. Magic, they close at 3. So
Oh, Candyland goes into the AM.
yes.
Like,
What happens at Candyland in the AM?
I don't be there. I be at work.
Come on, now, come
I be at work.
Hold up.
I ain't never stayed past 3.
You said some people call you Nay. Did they call you Nay there?
Yeah, everybody call me Nay. They know
Nay
me.
at night?
They know me. They know me.
Nay at night.
That's a good one. I might
Welcome to
use
the
that
stage.
one out. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah,
He definitely overheard his dad talk about the strip club before.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Like I remember, I think Magic City was casually mentioned like around my kids. He's like, yo, I like Magic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like
different things disappearing.
I feel like, feel free to come for me, but like, what about bring your child to work day? Like, when, I'm just saying, maybe not when the girls are doing what they're doing, but maybe they're there and they're getting ready and like, oh, this is my son, Halo. Oh, hi, Halo. He could like see the inside of the establishment.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not
Doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
Little knuckle rub.
a little knuckle rub.
That is so funny. At 9, were you thinking about strippers?
Yo. Not strippers particularly.
It wasn't strippers, but it was. Because at 9, you don't even really, I'm not sure you fully conceive of what that is and what that means.
Yeah.
But at 9, for boys, certain boys at 9, you're starting to recognize things that like are very interesting to you and you would like to learn more about them.
Yeah, now I recognized at a very young age, like kind of like how people discover Christ. Like, it was Porky's was a gateway.
I remember.
Like to everything, because that whole movie was about them going to a strip club.
Yeah.
So when this is running on HBO constantly, and your parents go to sleep at a decent time, but you're wired because you live off cereal, you're up at weird
I was
hours in
just
the
about
night.
to say Cinemax was for me.
Okay, what was your go-to movie on Cinemax?
Oh, I
You okay? You all right?
Y'all don't.
You can't get in trouble. You're an adult now.
Okay,
We're not gonna
so of
tell
course,
on
real sex. Take 2. Then it was something else. It was just a whole bunch of stuff.
There was like Red Shoe Diaries.
Okay,
Taxi
There was
Cab
one that was out in
Confessions.
that area.
Yeah, Taxi Cab. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh,
was a
Hugs
classic.
Point. Hugs.
Hookers are Hunts
Oh,
Point.
What?
Yo.
Hookers are Hunts
Yes,
Point?
that's
Yeah, Hookers at the Point was what it was called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man.
That's so funny. I guess
I think they made Bikini Car Wash 1 through 6 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yo, you ever see the movie Avenging Angel?
No.
Yo, this chick was a high schooler by day, but like she was like a vigilante prostitute at night.
Wait,
and she
I
had a cowboy to help her out, like a dude who wore a cowboy hat. Yo, you can pull up the trailer online. Yo, the movie was wild, man. It was like Death Wish, but with strippers.
I feel like I've heard of
Prostitutes,
this.
rather.
I'm gonna have to do some research tonight. All right. Do we have anything else we want to say about strippers or Cinemax? Have we got it all in?
We got it.
Drop your favorite strip clubs and things you shouldn't have been watching as a kid in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks. This has been a nice moment of connection for all of us.
Yeah.
Moving on. Bobby Brown stopped by Club Shay Shay and he talked about artists who have sampled his music. Well, here's what he thought about Britney Spears' version of one of his songs.
I don't think they really did justice to any of the samples that they have done to my songs. Like Britney Spears butchered. She butchered Prerogative. Oh. Teddy Riley produced it, but that was a butchering that I couldn't take it.
But you cleared it.
I cleared it only because it was Britney Spears, and I was thinking
She gonna do it right. She gonna do it good. Yeah. Nice.
Teddy Riley's doing it too.
Yeah.
So but I felt it was a butchering.
The irony is like the person that you think is the bad boy in that situation is now switched.
Ooh.
That all can change by tomorrow.
Yes, this all could
we'll
change
see.
by tomorrow. Yeah.
But did you listen to Britney's version? Did you like it?
No.
I have heard it. Oof. It is not good. It's not good.
I had hopes of it being halfway decent. And I was never really a Britney Spears stan.
I love Britney. I love Britney.
So you was more Britney over Christina Aguilera?
Heck yeah.
Wait, hold on. Have you heard it?
Yeah.
Have you heard it, Janee?
I haven't heard the new one.
The Britney
This
Spears?
ain't even new at this point. This is older. Like, like Bobby had a little bit of hair when this happened.
Oh wait, I've heard Bobby Brown's My Prerogative, but I ain't heard.
Yo, okay, hold up.
Cause I'm thinking I'm a slave forever. Thanks.
This is it.
Oh.
I don't know if we're supposed to be doing this, but we're doing.
They can never take away your truth. But the question is,
I don't think I have.
It's when she starts singing that it really like.
Yeah, goes ultrasound.
Oh yeah, Butchered.
Yeah.
Yeah, big day shift stripper energy that song has. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
big lunch buffets.
Literally, pretty buffet. That's funny.
Man, I mean, like maybe like Bobby's response will bait Britney to go to the studio, you know, put the knives down and cook up something new that maybe people could get jiggy with.
Yeah.
I don't, man. Imagine if we got another song from Britney Spears. It would be the most unhinged pop song.
Oh yeah, cause she's a little loose screw.
She's off the meds.
Just a little loose.
Has she came out with a bop since she did the Onyx cut?
I don't think so. Oh, back in the day, the Onyx cut?
Yeah.
I don't know that she's dropped a track since then. She had the Vegas residency for a hot minute, I think, after that. But then that's when the whole conservatorship thing started. If I got my timeline right, if she wanted to shut that down, and then her dad went and got the conservatorship stuff going. I had to cover it for an old show back in the day.
Cool. We ain't judging you.
Yeah. I'm just up on it. Yeah.
Moving on, man. Could Travis Kelce's ex, Kayla Nicole, be getting messy? All right, so she talked about relationships and cheating on her podcast, The Pregame with Kayla Nicole. And let's see if we think she's talking about Travis. Check it out.
Talk more about this cheating.
I have been conditioned to believe in a fairy tale of love and relationships. You watch the Disney movies.
As you should.
You grow up in church. I was raised to believe that a man and a woman, if they are in a relationship, if they are married, you are only intended to be with each other. And you make this agreement, you make this promise to one another, and you hold each other accountable. Have I experienced that in dating and relationships in my life ever? No, not once. And so when you are cheated on, the heartbreak and the devastation that comes with that, the insecurities that come with that, it can be overwhelming. And it's hard to, I think, go into new relationships without the mindset of, I probably am going to get cheated on. So let me try and protect myself. Or I'm probably going to be cheated on. Everything that this person is telling me might be
Man, some people are built for failure.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta know who you're dealing with. You know, I've been through that before. So I just feel like you just gotta deal with someone who wants to be with you. And, you know, not be with multiple people and keep you in a back pocket, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think sometimes, like, people think people change, and people don't change until they really want to.
Yeah.
And so if they were in a relationship when they started messing around with you, you cannot be surprised when later on you're in a relationship with them and they're still doing the same thing.
That is
Gotta
definitely
stay
true.
competitive.
Yeah.
And also, too, like, sometimes, you know, I think Chris Rock said it, people are only going to be faithful as much as their options allow them to be.
Yeah.
And if you're dating somebody who's in professional sports, their defense could be strong enough to where they're going to block 7 attempts.
Yeah.
But there's going to be 3 that might get through there.
Exactly.
And if you're rounding up, that's a good man.
Yeah, because you might be a 10 in your city, but you're going to be a 3 down here. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. for
Yeah,
sure.
and I am correct when I say that the woman that was talking, that was the one that was with Travis Kelce, right?
Yes.
I think the other one was Shan Boudreau, who I think is a sex and relationship expert.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know
That's
more
who
about
that other
her.
woman was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's just always alluding to something to him, though. It's just weird.
Because that's all we got.
Yeah, that's how, unfortunately, that's kind of like how we know her and how she's like stays in the space. And I get it. It's like there's enough people out there looking for any reason to hate on a man. So it's like you can have that podcast and talk trash about your exes, and like that's fine, and I get that. And there's also enough people out there who don't like Taylor Swift and don't like the fact that he's with Taylor Swift, and they look at his ex-girlfriend and they go, "Well, let's hear some shit about Travis." You know?
But if you're in a situation, right, where when they flash a picture of you in the lower thirds, when they describe who you are, and the only thing we got is Travis Kelce's ex, we got to do some other things.
That's what I'm saying, man. And she's a sportscaster.
She is?
Yeah, she's on a podcast. I don't know the name, but I've been seeing her post a little clip. So she be talking about sports. So I guess, hey, maybe that was the playoff. She dated him to get in sports.
Okay. Well,
It happens.
I
Oh
stay
no,
corrected.
she's been doing it for a while though. She's been doing it for a while.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes with some running to the comments and so much more. We'll see you in 2. Welcome back.
Hey.
All right, it is time for another run into the comments and another example of Atlanta not being a real place. Let's look at this man's haircut, something he calls a side hawk.
So what do you call it? A side hawk.
No, sir.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
A side hawk. Okay. Sometimes sideways in order folks to get it straight.
Okay.
In order folks to get it straight.
Okay.
Representing for the sideways. Dang, that barber needs to be fired.
Okay. My dog. You gotta get that too, right? Type shit, yeah.
Oh, he got his own swag.
Wow. Yo, if you put him like in one of them brown robes, he would look like a black friar tuck.
I was about to say.
You know, he could look very biblical.
I'm not as mad
His
about
hair
that.
look like a headband.
Get excited for the game straight. Of course, so we had to go to the comments with people saying things like, when your wife like you with hair, but your side chick like you bald.
My man walked in and said, "Yo, let me get that headphone taper."
What the heck?
407 years ago, that 87 years rocking the George Jefferson Continental Congress. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's how LeBron was wearing his headband in Miami.
Yo. I must have reached the end of the internet. Yeah, that's wild. But hold up, he's got merch.
You
He got merch.
You gotta market yourself because you're gonna be the only person with that hairstyle, and people are gonna know you based off of that.
We need a segment called like Side Hustle Spotlight, where we find people doing interesting and unique things like that, and let them come on here and pitch like their whole let him come on and like pitch his merch.
That's a dope thing.
Sidishians, the assignment has been set. Y'all helped us find our guy, Relic Rhymes.
Relic Rhymes.
Can you help us in the chat? Friar Tuck.
Help us, please.
We need Black Friar Tuck up here. Please and thank you. That's impressive. And if he could bring his barber too, that would be great.
man.
Because like to do that cut and not be laughing while you're doing that cut.
Yeah, he a specialty. He an artiste.
Like I want to know everything about it now. I want to know like the day his hair was like regular, and then one day he was like, no.
Oh my God.
And he had that, and he's like, shave it like, did he do it the first time, you know?
He got to wear a special wave cap at night.
That's wild.
Do you think, where's he tying the knot at, you
That's
think?
what I want to know. I don't know. He might have to like press it out and then, I don't know. To lay
It's
it
like
flat.
when the
I don't know.
rapture came, it's like God could just pick him up with a handle and pick the hair.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
That's good. I like it. Respect.
Atlanta ain't a real place, man.
It takes a certain type of bravery to do that.
Yeah.
A whole new haircut? When's the last time you saw a new hairstyle?
Mr. T.
That's true.
Yeah. It seems that these guys must have watched too much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they were younger, because 5 men were arrested for climbing into a Brooklyn sewer system Monday. And if you don't believe me, take a look.
Take a look at this video now being reviewed by police as part of their investigation. You see a total of 5 people, some of them with tools. After several members of the crew had entered the sewer system, Shawan Thompson then covered up the manhole and kept watch, sitting in this folding chair on the side of the street. They almost got away with it, but something didn't look right to many people in this neighborhood, and calls were made to 911. Told them they're looking into whether the suspects were were searching traps in the sewers that sometimes catch valuable jewelry.
Oh, I thought they was down there having a party.
Me too.
Because you remember how it was like, come on down here, we got popcorn down here, we got, I thought it was that.
I'm not mad about people looking for hidden buried treasure.
It's better than robbing people,
right?
In the sewer.
Yo, well, according to court records, the 3 suspects who ventured underground was 25-year-old Zion McKenzie, 25-year-old Shawan Thompson, 39-year-old Willard Green. They've been charged with burglary, possession of burglary tools, criminal facilitation, and criminal mischief. I think some of those charges could be scrapped.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Criminal tools? What are we talking about? A crowbar? A hammer? Even if it's the whole thing about it being a manhole, I get you maybe a little trespassing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't be using them folk stuff and just going in there with all you want.
But these are standard tools.
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, my man dropped his phone.
He could have dropped his phone down the grate, and now they're just trying to get the phone back.
Because I have that type of luck to where, if there's a 1-inch crevice that my phone could fall, I almost lost my phone in the elevator one day. It fell, and it was about to do that. And then go there, and I caught it just in time. Fingertip.
Wow.
I caught it. God wanted me to have that phone. And so it happens, man. So let these guys make it. But it was dope how there was 5 of them. Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo,
Michelangelo,
and Casey Jones.
But here's the thing: is if there is jewelry and things like that stuck in traps down there, you should be able to get a permit and go hunt it up.
Because nobody wants that shitty jewelry.
Right.
Yeah, don't nobody.
You clean it up. Maybe you get to clean it. You get a little profit on it.
Yeah, them rats. Hey, listen. And y'all said it was in New York, Lord. I couldn't imagine.
Yo, have you ever seen a rat king?
No, I ain't afraid of rat king.
Basically, a rat king is when there's so many rats, right? They get tangled up. And it's kind of like a super rat ball.
No.
It's a real thing.
Wait, they're tangled up?
It's nightmare fuel.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah. It's called a rat king. And it's the grossest thing. Because it's how did all those rat tails get merged together and form a super rat?
It's like morphin' time.
I watched one movie when I was a kid, and I've been convinced that there are alligators in the New York City sewers ever since.
Oh, no.
What movie was that? Because that's been a long run
or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, alligator.
Oh, real quick, just for reference.
Oh, wait, you gotta.
That's what a rat king looks like. Yeah, they be merging together and it's.
Why do they call it a rat king?
Kingdom.
See, and that's a gross version.
It's more so of a kingdom.
Yeah,
a little community.
It's like a rat freak off.
Yeah,
that just went too far.
It's a rat freak
and they all
right
stuck
there.
Together.
Literally.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Guys, you know what? We know that old regular baby names aren't the norm anymore, but some baby names have been seen as so controversial that they've actually been banned in certain countries. So according to experts from Language Learning Marketplace Preply, here are the banned names and the countries that have banned them. In Germany, you can't have no babies named Lucifer.
Oh.
In France, you can't have no sweet babies named Nutella. In Sweden, no baby Metallicas. What's up with that?
Is that a girl name or a guy name, you think?
Hey, Metallica. In the UK, we don't have any rogues.
Huh.
Why can't we have a rogue in the UK? In Australia, we have no pet cyanide. LOL, cyanide. Oh, wait, 3 names: cyanide, LOL, or spinach.
But why would you want to name?
Because in America, we can't name kids with the land of the free. We'll name them spinach if we want to name them spinach.
Damn right.
In New Zealand, you can't name your kids fish and chips. And in Saudi Arabia, the name Linda is illegal as the country deems it non-Islamic or culturally inappropriate. Okay, Linda.
How is Linda the most non-Islamic name?
Yeah, that's weird. Everybody named Linda.
Weird.
How did that outperform Carol?
Yeah.
Or Kate?
Suzanne? You trying to tell me?
Sounds very non-Islamic.
Yeah.
You ain't praying 3 times a day to the east.
Suzanne? No, absolutely not.
Yo, what other names do you think should be banned?
Oh man, Marie. And Nicole.
What did a Marie do to you? That felt personal.
It's just too many of them, and it's always something. It's always a first name with. It's just I'm tired of them.
You ever met a young Gertrude?
No. Oh, Bernice. That's
Bernice?
Stop naming y'all kids that. Bernice.
You met young Bernices?
Yes. That's crazy.
Yo, so I went to my niece's little softball game. She's like 6 years old. And there's this girl whose last name is Sharp, and her first name is Swayze.
Wow.
Swayze.
Sharp.
They're like, coming to the plate, Swayze Sharp. And I was like, yo!
That person's destined for great things.
Yeah.
Great name.
I'm surprised, like, because even when, like, when you got to Germany, like, Germany stopped at Lucifer. Like, you would think Adolf.
You would think.
Would be a name that, you can't do that no more.
You think they would draw the hard line, but no, they're drawing it at Lucifer.
Even Muammar.
I know a kid named
those other companies, like Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know a kid named Justice.
My uncle's name was Justice.
Really?
But that was his righteous name, because at one point he discovered the 5%ers, and you know what I'm saying? But his real name Frank. After the break, we got a celeb birthday lineup and so much more. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Nice.
Welcome back. Hey. All right, if you're celebrating a birthday today, strut into the day like you own it alongside your own birthday twin, Gigi Hadid. The supermodel turns 30 today.
And you can't see me. Wrestling legend turned actor John Cena celebrates 48, and he's the WWE champion right now.
I also think he's the Make-A-Wish champ, right? Isn't he the all-time Make-A-Wish champ?
Granted the most wishes.
Yeah, love that. Okay, everybody's favorite TV uncle, George Lopez, is 64. Feliz cumpleaños, tío.
Hey, actor Dev Patel, known for his role in the UK show Skins and in the film Monkey Man, is 35 today.
And last but not least, Kal Penn, best known for his role in the Harold and Kumar films and former White House advisor, turns 48 years old.
That dude's had an interesting life.
What a life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Obama White House. How dope is that?
Who y'all sliding that cake out there in the chat? Let us know. Who you rocking with?
Well, Gigi, I love her. George, that's my boy. I still watch that show to this day. And Kumar, I love him from
Kal Penn?
Kal Penn. Sorry, that's it, right? Kal Penn.
Kal like Penn?
Yeah, I think Kal Penn is a different actor. That's a different thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't Google Kal Penn.
Kal Penn. I'm sorry, but yes, I would say George Lopez. He's my fave.
Word?
He gets the cake.
Man.
He takes
There's so many. I want to give it to John Cena because I have mad respect. Just like everything you find out about this guy seems to be very, very positive.
I like John Cena.
And so I like John Cena a lot. But I also have so much respect for Kal Penn. working on he was like, he was a movie star, and he was like, doing all this stuff, and then like had took this wild pivot and worked in politics for a little while, and is now, I'm sure, back out being an actor. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to run that kick up for the father of thugonomics, John Cena. Like,
there we go.
Yo, the era when he would come out there in denim jean shorts and then bust a freestyle before he would wrestle. That is a dude who really studied the culture and and wanted to be down. And the fact that you mentioned the Make-A-Wish stuff. It takes so much time out of your schedule to stop what you're doing and go lend your energy and your frequency to so many different people. And the way he just selflessly does that.
Yeah, makes it a priority.
Yeah. And now he's like the biggest all-time winner of the WWE WrestleMania, like a championship belt.
The belt. He's got the belt.
He beat Ric Flair.
15-time or
17 now.
17-time
winner.
Wow.
Yeah, he beat up Cody Rhodes in front of everybody to get that done.
Nerding out on wrestling here real quick. You can't see me.
Yo, he would do that and then run half a block into the ring and still have energy to wrestle.
Sir.
It's impressive, yo.
Okay, Janee. Tell us about either your favorite birthday party that you've gone to or your favorite birthday party that you've had.
Well, all my favorite birthday parties are in Miami.
There's a trend there.
Here in Atlanta, I went to Lotto's birthday party.
Okay.
And it was at this place called The Bank, and it was like Pimps and Hoes. It was like a Pimp and Hoe thing. So, Flavor Flav was in there. Flavor Flav, I love him. He had his own little red, he had a whole fur coat on. Everything was just red with a big ass clock. Child, it was a party.
No, Lotto low-key be throwing some of the best parties because she does the parties, I think, with Hannah Kang. They be putting them together. So she puts together these thematic parties. Like, she did a thing for this rapper, Benny the Butcher, and it was like, they made the venue space look like a meat market. And everyone who left the party got to pick whatever steak that they wanted, raw, out of the thing, and they would wrap it up in the paper and send you out with it. So I can only imagine how turned up that Pimps and Hoes party was.
It was definitely lit. She came in with the whole little Boosie Collins and Bishop Don Juan, and he was there too. I was like, oh, this is really a Pimps and Hoes party.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like, how were you dressed for the occasion?
I was looking like Foxy Brown.
Okay.
And I had my little mink on, my little black dress. I had the whole little 70s flip. I was giving a little bit of that.
Okay.
Nice.
What would I say? Coffee Brown, something like that.
Yeah. What was it? Jackie Brown too, like in the same space. I think that was like 70 something when.
Pam Grier. Pam Grier.
Yeah. Big iconic energy. Love that for y'all, man.
Yeah.
So listen, we got to do some really important detective work in a couple of minutes.
Do you know, Janee, how comfortable are you with racial profiling?
Well, I don't be doing. I don't be.
You don't do it?
You want to practice real quick?
Yeah, come on.
All right. So like, typically, who owns most of the Dairy Queens?
White people.
All right, listen. We're gonna be back in 2 minutes with everybody's favorite game. Whose cousin is it? You must have never been to it.
Welcome back.
Hey,
it's time for everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
Okay, Janee. So I know you said you don't racially profile, but I feel like we all do it a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna get our feet wet here. Now, this story is absolutely irresponsible. So, okay, it seems a young man, and we're gonna call him Alpha, turned Fort Myers. Wait, is that Florida?
Mm-hmm.
That's Fort Myers, Florida. They got the F word in it. He turned Fort Myers Beach into Fort Biters Beach.
So an 18-year-old Beta decided to get scrappy with another young man just trying to get his spring break on. And we're going to call that guy Beta.
Okay. Seems like Alpha wasn't just throwing them hands, but also racial slurs as well. And next thing you know, Alpha sucker punched Beta from behind. Talk about starting drama you can't finish.
Now, during this beachside brawl, Alpha went full zombie apocalypse and bit off, I repeat, bit off Beta's entire ear. Now, authorities are calling it a traumatic auricular amputation, but in the streets, they're calling it wild.
Okay, now this gives a new meaning to lending someone your ear. Okay, or maybe it's not lending. Maybe it's not lending someone your ear. The cops rolled up on Alpha and got his butt hauled to jail. But do not get too excited. His fam dropped 50 racks on bail because they've got that money.
Trust fund, baby. Now, Alpha was arrested, and the judge told him he better not contact Beta again. Like, what's he going to do? Send him an earring as a souvenir of the crime? Like, what's going on here?
Okay, but here the story gets even more fun because Alpha's claiming he's broke with no income on his public defender application. Oh, but his family had 50 grand to bail him out. Hi, hello. Can we make it make sense?
They probably had to pour it in the tractor. Poor Beta is probably feeling pretty irritated about the whole situation. Now, sources say the judge was going to throw the book at Alpha, but decided to be more lobelant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is in the universe of lenient.
Yeah, so I feel like this feels very my cousin.
Like,
do you concur?
Janee, what does your intuition tell you about a Florida earbiter who uses racial slurs?
I do want to put it into context, though, that Nurse Plies is from Florida as well. And I say Nurse Plies because he studied to be a nurse, a doctor, well, nurse specifically. So it's not just all Tanner's cousins. We're out there, too.
I would say, okay, boom, we're going to do it in the middle. Puerto Rican.
Oh.
That's very specific.
All
right. Very specific.
Okay.
We get our hair cut at the same place
I'm
sometimes.
not mad about that.
I'm just saying.
Because the racial slurs part, right? It seems like it automatically throws it to your demographic, right, Tanner?
Yeah.
However, I have seen the Latinos of Texas throw that around like it's an adjective or a verb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing is we don't know, what we also don't know is whose cousin Beta was and what racial slur they might have been receiving.
Yeah, like, I mean, because, like, no matter who you racial slurring, you're usually saying the N-word, even if the person on the receiving end isn't that.
Yeah.
That's how Morgan Wallen got in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah, he was cursing out a white dude calling him
Yeah.
that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Of all the ways to aim that gun, that's probably that one right there. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with Jesus. Because like we as people, we usually don't have a taste for flesh. So I'm gonna say it was. I'm gonna say it was other two.
You said that, but also most famous earbiter ever, Mike Tyson.
But he was mad.
He was mad. All right, I'm gonna say my cousin. We got Puerto Rican cousin.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
One. Move
that van. Yep.
Whoa, Jack
Turner.
I feel like we've seen him before, and we'll see him again.
Lee County Sheriff's Office.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise.
Jawan, dang, he did Jawan
and
Black.
the victim's name, Beta, his name was Jawan Black.
Well, that is a super duper wild. Protect your ears at all costs out there in those streets. Janee, if people want to follow you, where can they go? Tell us real quick.
I am Janee Chanell on all platforms.
Be sure you tap into this good energy right here and tap into us tomorrow. Rinse, repeat, share, tell others. Click the bell so you can know when we go live.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, good people? It is your girls, Jen and V, with Scrolling with Jen and V. And are y'all ready to have a wild night? First of all, check out our fits, honey. Check out the fits. We're feeling very so it's about to be a wild one, baby. So I hope you got your bevies ready like we do.
We do.
What we call this, Jen?
We're calling this Southern Seduction.
Ooh.
Yes.
And make sure you go to our Instagram, TikTok, wherever you can find us, honey, on social media and find out how we make this.
Yes,
Southern
and it is
seduction.
seducing me.
Ooh,
it's seducing me.
Come on
Love
now.
it.
While it's seducing you, let's start off with our first segment for tonight, Jenny. What we have? The comment section. That's right. We love reading what you guys